Look here, 3 girls were killed by that kid in Southport.
It's an act of violence that shattered the peace of the summer holidays in a seaside town.
3 girls were killed.
BB King, Elsie Stankham and...
Why do they have masks on? What is the reason for them having masks on right now? Can someone explain that to me?
That shattered the
Because when I see someone with a mask on, I automatically think, well, that guy's about to commit crime. That guy's going to try to do some type of crime or something, or I need to stay away from that person because they have a mask on, right? Especially like in the middle of the street. That's like, you know, kind of obvious to steer away from that person. So I just want to know why they have the mask on.
peace of the summer holidays in a seaside town.
3 girls were killed.
BB King, Elsie Stankham and Elise Aguirre.
However, 186,000 Palestinians have been
And they
killed.
have
Most of them are
gloves on
children.
and stuff.
Do you see us burning every synagogue that supports the Israeli regime?
Another fire, another night of chaos.
Anti-immigration rioters attack a hotel in Rotherham.
Do you see us holding
The immigration
Israeli regime?
Another fire, another night of chaos.
Anti-immigration rioters attack a hotel.
Whoa, did they start this fire and everything? They started this fire at the police station because 3 girls got killed by 1 immigrant Muslim? Now that's terrible. And I don't want to seem like I'm putting that off in any way. But to go and destroy your own city, and you know what? Also another question. If you were going to, I think I heard this from someone else. If you were going to do a riot, you would only target government buildings, correct? Especially in a situation like this. Well, you know what? In most riots, in most protests, in most of those, you know, demonstrations and things like that, wouldn't you always want to target governmental buildings? Always and only. Because that's who you're fighting against. You're not fighting against the family next to you who owns the grocery store. You're not fighting against those people, or the space bar, cocktail, and gaming bar. You're not fighting against those people.
Fire, another night of chaos.
Anti-immigration rioters attack a hotel in Rotherham.
Do you see us holding innocent people responsible?
Crowds clashing with police outside a hotel where immigrants are being housed.
Yeah, you don't. We're coming in peace. And imagine our anger. Imagine how we feel every day in Chechnya, in Syria, Iraq, Palestine, Kashmir, Mali, Libya, everywhere. We see our children killed. We don't behave in a manner that you see these hooligans behaving in, because they don't care for their girls. They're here for violence, and they're here because they hate us.
It could be true. Actually, that could be true.
A black Christian man born in Wales killed them girls.
Axel Rudakabana is 17,
Oh, wow. He was
British,
born in
Wales
Oh,
and
I
of
think
Rwanda
I think I've heard about it. I think I've went over this. Or I've watched someone go over this.
and heritage.
But who they're directing their anger at? They're directing it at Muslims only. Why? Because their agenda is anti-Islam, straight up.
This is our fucking country, not fucking theirs.
I'm here to save the kids. The children have been murdered. There's been a massacre on the street.
They got the targeting little white girls all over the country. Let's call a spade a fucking spade.
It's like Russian roulette at this point. Which one's going to be next? No one questioned why BLM were out. No one questions why Palestine are out. We're saving the kids. We're stopping.
Whoa. I'm pretty sure everyone questioned why these things were happening, while they were happening. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, we can go back, we can look at the Twitter, we can look at the tweets and stuff like that. Yo, there were a lot of people who were questioning why these things were going on, okay?
The boats. We're closing the borders. Look how mad we've all gone. This is real women. This is lionesses. This is the lion roaring. I'm not racist, and I don't give a fuck what you say.
Then who's trying to kill our kids?
Policies that politicians put in place, yeah?
Stop the boats! Stop the boats!
She's got some type of Adderall, some type of
Stop the boats!
some type of drug to make her up, or whatever you call it.
Look here, 3 girls were killed by that kid in Southport.
No
It's an
way!
act of
I just
violence that
restarted the video.
It's going to come to you looking up
No.
and let everybody bollocks.
About their ages, we don't know nothing about the backgrounds, and that's what it's about.
We don't want to be branded far right. You know, we're here for the right reasons. I want my kids to know I didn't stay silent. Leave our kids alone.
It's about children that have lost their lives in this city, and we're passionate about that up here.
We're not racist. We've got Muslim friends. Our country has benefited from migration. However, it's just getting overwhelming. We're a very small island. It's become a security risk.
Religion means fuck all, lads. I'm not
It's pretty big, right? It's pretty big. Like yeah, America. Yeah. It's not that big, but like, they need the migrants right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Brexit thing is when they told everyone else, hey, we don't need you and we don't want to send taxes to you. Now what that did was lower their like economy and stuff down because they had or was it? It was said Brexit was said to be about taxes. Now, it also solved some of the immigration issues that the UK was facing, allegedly. It was supposed to. Now, it hasn't. So now they're kind of like shit out of luck with getting help from these other countries when it comes to like whatever. I'm not well versed enough to tell you what they help with or anything like that, but you know, I know they help with like trade price stuff like that and goods and services and things probably.
This is about people coming in. They could be Christians from Somalia or wherever, and they're fucking wrong-uns. That's what it is. We're letting wrong-uns in. This is not religious. That's bollocks. Fucking bollocks. This is about the wrong-uns they're letting in. You can be a Christian, you can be whatever. You're coming in, you've got no intention of fucking helping the country. You're here to cause trouble. You're here to take and thieve and steal. You're here to stay for nothing. So, unfortunately, that's a no-no. There's 55.
You know, it's always a problem when you get into a protest or a group of people, and some of those people are behaving erratically, right? Some of those people are going to attack things or talk about things that your group is not involved with, or you know what, maybe not even want to do, right? But at the same time, while you're in this group, they could go and say attack a mosque or stand outside of a mosque, try to burn it, things like that, right? Like break some of the things. I don't know if they tried to burn it, but you know, so some of those people go out and they attack mosques. Well, you stay here and you say it's not about the religious part. I feel like that's always a problem. Like, I'm not saying that guy's wrong or anything like that, but I think of that, and when I see these like groups of people who are trying to get stuff done, that always seems to really hold it back and really, you know, kind of not let it be able to do anything just because of the like sentiment around some of the things that group may have did.
1,000 people there on an MI6 list, isn't there? Start with them, get rid of them, get rid of the people who are killing kids, raping kids, get rid of them.
Stop the boats, kick them out. There's too many of you here. You don't respect our country, you don't respect our religion. All you think about is Aisha, because she was 9 years old. That's what you're all into. Paedophilia.
Listen, there's a message for George Soros, yeah? Britain will never fall. We don't care how many global...
You know what? I think this is about the time where I would like to talk to America and America, the people as themselves, and say this excess amount of fluoride that we have. Why haven't we started offloading it to the UK? What is going on there? I mean, can we get them some help in the teeth department, in the dentistry background of things? Can we get them some help? Because every time I look at a British person, I mean, I see a face full of fucking fuckery with their teeth going. I mean, it's really not good. It's really not good every single time. And they can have some straight teeth. Some of them have straight teeth. That's fine. And it's great. I love seeing it. But some, like, even when they have the straight teeth, they have, like, little fucking yellow little pockets in there, little black shit in there or something. I don't know. Good
Globalist, yeah? George Soros, yeah? You globalist scumbags, yeah? Import as many of them as you want, yeah? Guess what? Christ will prevail, yeah?
This world is so corrupt. Labour's supposed to love the North West, supposed to be for the working class. They've stabbed the real people who has got real concerns. They've stabbed a lot of us in the back. And we're supposed to stand here and let everybody call us right-wing and Nazis. I've got Asians in my family. I ain't racist one bit. What I am is scared of this government.
We've now got two-tier Kia coming on the news and having the audacity to call the general public far right.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend.
I've seen all this coming. No one wanted it. We've tried to warn about it, and I'm still going to try and warn about it. I don't want to fight anybody. We don't want wars with Muslims. I don't think it's a good idea attacking mosques at all. I'm not a conservative either. I'm not an anarchist. I want a decent party that cares about the people. That's all we want. Every person, doesn't matter where you're from.
OK, so if Tories weren't the answer, Labour wasn't the answer, who is?
I'm not a politician and I'm thick as pig shit, but I can talk to people. I've never been to school, I can only write my own name, but I've got an heart as big as a lion, and I'll stand there against anybody for the sake of our country. People need to wake up against Labour. These are the rats. We're not racist, we're scared.
Everybody out there who's not acting and is not on this street now, get out there and act. Don't call yourself a man unless you're out here. Don't call yourself a man. Simple
While
as
his
that. You
face
don't
is
fight for your
covered up.
country. You don't push back the invaders.
Got
You're not a man.
sunglasses on.
If we don't fight now, it's going to come to our kids having to fight, and they're not going to win it. They're not going to win the fight. So I don't want the violence. We've got to try and do it peacefully. But this has to be the final straw where there's a clear message sent to those in charge that you either step up or you step aside now. I was in Southport.
You know what? If this protest isn't outside of a like some type of political building, parliament building, anything like that, then you know what? You guys have done nothing. Like there's nothing to do here. If you guys aren't going to like protest properly, like there are proper ways to demonstrate protest, 100% that work, and they've always worked. If you guys could just like do that without like some of these bad actors coming out here and breaking into hotels or whatever that was, right? Because I'm sure it's not this group of people. This group of people seems, you know, kind of tame, except for this guy. This guy seems a little, you know, yeah. We need to keep an eye out for this guy. Maybe get this guy out of the assembly get this guy out of here because of just the way he looks. He poses a threat with his face covered up.
On Tuesday,
police tried to keep apart a group of far-right protesters and a much larger anti-fascist counter-protest.
The media absolutely corrupt. They lied. There wasn't a single member of the EDL there. There weren't a member of the far right there. There was little girls, older women. There was older men. There was young men, middle-aged men, outraged at what the government's allowing to happen to us. What the government's allowing this cancer to do to us, this cancer that's grown within our nation. We need to stop it.
My children were abused by social services, and Merseyside police have covered it up. They've got a hidden grooming gang that won't be released to the public. Defund the BBC. The media are the lies. The media is the virus.
Much like at protests in the United States, a line of riot police who sustained minor injuries throughout the course of the day had formed a sort of demilitarized zone between nationalist Stop the Boats protesters and an equally sized counter-protest of mostly left-leaning Liverpool locals.
This isn't about religion. Guys, this is not about religion.
Protesters and an equally sized counter-protest of mostly left-leaning Liverpool locals who showed up in person to confront a mob of who they believe to be far-right racist protesters.
They're all inbred. Yeah, they need a dentist. They're not interested in like children that were killed in Southport. They just want to cause a fight. We're a multicultural
do you guys
city.
both care about the same thing? Do you guys both care about the same thing? Well, how about you guys get together? How about you guys become friends? Can we not do that? Can we say that this group of people can be set aside as what they did, and without including the rest of the group of people in that as wanting that to happen or anything like that? Because there are bad actors everywhere you go that are going to destroy whatever cause you're trying to make, right? Whether that's through like trolling or whatever, or like really not giving a fuck what you're talking about, right? Like it could be through any of that.
A city.
And like just pretending like, oh, I care about this, like, or like what do you call it, grifting or whatever? Like Yo, I can tell you, when I'm talking about this shit, yo, my whole mind is turning about what this shit is. Like, like you can say grifting or whatever, but I really do care about how people are going to interact with each other, and you know, kind of seeing how that works, right? Because it matters, and it matters for America. Because if we're going to do this in Britain and we're going to have these protests, it's going to be the same thing in America, and it's going to happen eventually. Like, but the only thing you could do is learn from the things that you've seen, right? So like, if you see this protest, and I've said that there are bad actors that are going after like just public businesses or private businesses and destroying them, then that's a problem. They shouldn't be included in whatever thing you're trying to fight, or you know, whatever law that you're trying to get changed.
Of century, and I hope they get lost.
What do you think the solution is? Throw them all into the sea. That's what the chant says.
Solution is, well, to get rid of capitalism and have a social society, and then these people would be catered for, not blaming it on fucking immigrants and refugees and what have you. They've obviously got issues because they've been let down, no dentists, no doctors, no housing, right? But that's not immigrants or refugees' fault. That's the fault of this fucking government.
Despite this frontline tension, it appeared that the vast majority of counter-protesters weren't actually interested in having a direct conflict.
Right. So why the fuck are you two groups of people fighting? You dummies. If you guys are if you guys are both really trying to get to the same issue, trying to solve the same issue, which is that those 3 girls were killed that night, right? And you guys have seen an uptick in you want to say, or I want to say, immigrant violence, right? Of people who have immigrated to the country because of the mass groups of people who are immigrating to the country. That's just obviously going to happen. I'm not saying, oh, the immigrants are bad people or whatever, but that can happen, right? You have a mass group of people immigrating to the country now that crime has spiked in that group of people that have immigrated. Okay, if you're actually worried about that, then why are you sitting here fighting against the same shit? You guys are stupid. Like, this is why, oh man, I don't want to say they're stupid. Let me just keep watching the
confrontation
video.
with English nationalists, and instead had organized their own rally at nearby St. George's Hall in support of migrants and refugees.
Refugees are welcome here. Oh, someone's just got married. Oh. See, this is Liverpool, and the far right is trying to threaten that.
A quick explanation, what happened in Southport?
Obviously, I mean, there was a horrible attack in which 3 children lost their lives. What happened since then was a massive lie about the identity of that attacker, which was, you know, led by the likes of Tommy Robinson.
You really got to shave that unibrow. There's a shave. You have to have like a shaver. You know what? All I do is just take it and I just right in between where I get it, right? So it's really not that difficult. Anyways.
Robinson.
After murdering and raping and pillaging 1,400 Jews, look how confident they've become across the entire West.
Of Lauren Sparks, of other far-right people online.
So an undocumented migrant decided to go into a Taylor Swift dance class today and stab 6 little girls.
Also, like...
It wasn't. She was born in Wales. He was born in Wales. It came from an immigrant family. That family immigrated here. The kid was actually born in Wales. He was born in England. I don't know if you guys missed that part, but it matters. It matters because what they're fighting for is against immigrants and against illegal immigration and shit like that. Right. But that guy wasn't an immigrant.
Was complicit.
So
we will only stop this if we start deporting people that come illegally.
This led people in Southport, you know, racists and far-right people to feel emboldened to come out on the street and to attack a mosque that had no connection to the identity of the attacker. I think it's also important to say that even if that had no racists and far-right people to feel emboldened to come out on the street and to attack a mosque that had no connection to the identity of the attacker. I think it's also important to say that even if the attacker was a Muslim or a migrant or the things that they were lying about, it still does not license
the far-right attacks on communities we've seen around Britain. So people around the country today are actually protesting. I think, you know, people here feel a part of something bigger. In Manchester, they got pushed back this morning. In Liverpool, we pushed them back outside the mosque last night. People who are here today are proud to stand in a multicultural Britain, and, you know, the far-right's trying to threaten that.
I don't think there is anything special about what's happening in the UK. I think it's a reflection of what's happening internationally, in that you've got a crisis of capitalism, living standards for, you know, in society going downhill, just a general crisis of the system. Far-right groups, obviously what they do is they latch on to the deep anger that exists. They build in the most impoverished areas of the country, and they basically try and divert that anger away from class struggle against the bosses and against, first the Tories and now Labour. And they rile a lot. And they basically try and divert that anger away from class struggle against the bosses and against, first...
Right. Kind of like when two groups of the same nation are protesting against each other's ideas, kind of like that. How you're taking away from the bosses and the people who are running this show into, like, you're fighting against their own people. You're protesting against what these other people have done instead of, like, yeah.
Tories and now Labour, and they rile a lot of very young people up, young men up with very toxic ideas, and they send them out to go and attack migrant communities. You know, that's a real threat we have to take seriously. And if the left doesn't have a convincing alternative that's based around mass struggle, that's based around fighting back in that kind of way, the far right seeps in. You've seen it in France. I think the end game of these far right groups is obviously to just create a society where there's mass expulsions of migrant workers. I mean,
we need to tell those people the alternative march. We need to get truth through to them, and that's important. You know, it's all right, Steve. We're suffering the rages of capitalism. We're suffering the rages of, well, you know, if Tony Blair didn't go and cause a fucking war in Iraq, or at least support that fucking war, if we weren't selling bombs to everyone across the planet, those people wouldn't be being bombed out their homes and having their land just stolen from them because of oil, because of agriculture, because of water and everything else. They'd be happily sitting in their homes, most of them, and they wouldn't be running to anywhere they can possibly get to save their children being blown to fucking smithereens. That's why, and I don't get it why people don't get that. If you have a problem with immigration, I'd have respect for you if you went out on marches and told the government enough is fucking enough. No more bombing or creating wars in other places. And if we are this powerful country, and you are genuinely these powerful politicians, take on these other fuckers across the planet and negotiate with them and create peace. It's not going to be easy, but you can at least fucking try.
Right, and I think that's what the far right people are getting at here, the right side of the politics in Britain. Correct me if I'm wrong here. They're getting at these politicians, or this is what they're meaning to do, is get at these politicians who are creating these laws that are causing mass immigration. Now, does Britain kind of need it? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they, you know, a little bit, and I don't know that much, but I think they do a little bit. Now, when you're talking about these people who are bombing in other countries, and it's terrible, and these children are getting bombed and they're getting displaced, and, you know, they can't live in this area because it's a war zone, and they're fighting over fucking, they don't even know what they're fighting over. They can't help that. They can't help that. They can't. Like, you think they can, but they can't. You think they can. Like, we need resources. I know it sounds terrible, but we gotta get some resources. We have to, and it's maybe a terrible point to have, or like in this perspective, but I don't think this is actually what we're talking about. I don't think we're talking about these people who are being bombed and then who come and immigrate all the way over here. I don't think, like, is that majority of the people who are immigrating? Is it? If so, because I don't know, right? And if it is, then I should look it up.
Really, to tackle all these problems, we need to transform society to a socialist one and create like a society where wealth is shared more equally amongst the people that create it, which is the majority of the working class people, you know, the capitalists who own everything. They pit us all against each other along the lines of like race, being LGBT, men and women, you know what I mean? Like we're all divided. So we're coming together, but more importantly, a sharing of like all of the wealth in the world will kind of do away with that sort of racism. And it's not an easy task, but yeah, that's why we're here. Like, yeah, people are obviously angry and they're all out together, so we want to like reach those people.
You know, it's a hard battle.
You know, I know it's kind of like big task, and I know it's not easy, but I think like, you know, like when we fight together, we can achieve like real change. Yeah.
Cool. You know, we need to build a new party that'll like fight to defend the interests of working class people. You know, the fact that our NHS is in such a bad state, rather than blaming that on migrants, let's enter into struggle to fight back against the private companies that are making huge profits. You know, I think the real answer is class struggle, you know, uniting as a working class to fight for all of our interests, whether you're a migrant worker, British born, you know, it's about building that working class solidarity.
I believe in living in a kingdom that's good and true.
Shortly after the Stop the Boats protest and counter-protest both dispersed, threats were reported to have been made online by members of the right-wing English Defence League targeting a nearby mosque, prompting a standing army of Arab.
This is where it's like getting into that where I'm talking about, where it's like the same thing will happen here. If we allow this to continue to happen, where there are groups of people who are pitted against each other in society who really, they do want the same thing. You guys both want to be safe. The people who are there, they want to be safe from the violence that they think is coming from the immigrants who are coming in, right? And there is violence that is from the immigrants that are coming in, right? Now, can that be misrepresented in the media? 100%. Could that be misrepresented across, you know, any type of media like Instagram, Twitter, all of that, right? So that's what I mean. That it could be misrepresented in that regard, right? So like for these people to not be able to like get together and talk about how they feel and the changes that they want to see made, is it's really fucking up your guys' process. And you know what? It's fucking up our process. It's not fucking up like your guys's or anything. It's fucking up our process. Is people to come to both to want to be safe and to, you know, feel like we matter in society. And for us to come together and to protest against each other instead of, I wish these people could just sit down and talk. But it's in a large group of people. You have the mob mentality. You have someone starts yelling, that person starts, this person's yelling. Okay, now everyone's yelling. Right? But, you know, I really wish it wasn't like that. I don't know how to change it either. I would like to.
Teenagers to assemble with the purpose of standing on business in the event of catastrophe. Well, not all teenagers, but mostly teenagers. In front of the mosque is where guest reporter Sanjay spoke to those youths at the beginning of the video. But there were also many other older community members who showed up to express support and solidarity.
We cannot translate racism in this country. We are totally against EDL in their principles, in their foundations. They don't want any Muslims to be in this country. This country needs us. There's no what these people do here, brother. Yeah. The police intimidate.
Relax.
It makes me feel angry. I get frustrated.
Yes.
But because I am Muslim, I have to be calm about this. You know, I have to be calm.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir. Yeah, man, the soldiers, the lions of Allah are all out today.
Bring the EDL.
We've come to stand up against these EDL fascists.
You're a bunch of lions, a bunch of like, you guys think you're gonna bite each other with your fate? Are you guys fucking stupid? Do you guys know how to use words, right? Okay, now quit saying you're fucking lions, retards.
Our town, and that are telling us that how their town's meant to be run when most of them are junkies, smackheads, crackheads, and they're not contributing to this community or this society. How are the government letting people like this come here and cause a disturbance? We've got to stand up to them. We've got to show them that we're not scared of them. We ain't backing down from no one.
It's fucking the low scum.
And then you've got officers like this here swearing at us, calling us fucking fannies and this and that, where he thinks he's bad with a bat in his hand. Put everything down, man to man. Arrest me after that, no problem.
Our minorities are looking after the country, and this is how we get treated. We don't deserve to get treated like fucking shit. Yo, we're fucking equal to everyone over here.
Why do you think race matters to them?
I don't know. They've got nothing better to do. They've no logic.
They're brainwashed.
I don't know if that was the original plan. And I think this is a multi-layered brainwashing going on here. And it's not even brainwashing, it's human psychology. It's how people react to certain events and what they do if they feel threatened, right? If I feel threatened and I have a group of people that stands by me, I will go and stand by those group of people if I feel threatened. It's just human psychology. It's how the human is, how we operate, right? And like, you know, I don't know too much.
That's what it is. They're brainwashed. They don't know what's going on. They've got one leader called Tommy Robinson that they all go off.
While all these idiots have been rioting, they don't know Tommy Robinson has fled the country. So you're all out for the cause here, and the leader isn't even in the country. He can't live in his own country that he loves so much.
So is violence the answer?
Violence isn't the answer. Love's the answer.
Violence is not the answer. But our religion tells us to stand up against kuffars that are not merciful, that are zalims, that are kuffars. And that's why we've come here together, to stand together.
There's people like Jews that stand with us. There's Christianities that stand with us. There's Hindus that stand with us. Pan the camera, you can see thousands of us are here. We are protecting the mosques that happen in Stoke, in Sunderland, in Liverpool, in many other towns. But we're standing as one because we want what's right. We want peace. We are fighting for what's right.
Stay united, come together, protect your mosque, protect your families. If they are coming down to hunt you, to kill you, to trouble you, please do a self-defense. Defend yourself and defend your ideology and restrict them in your cities, in your towns. If you don't do that one, they will come to your house and they will chase you.
Okay, this is from the International Migration England and Wales Census of 2021, right? Our migration between censuses, our release of unrounded population data. Okay, that doesn't matter. Country of birth. Since fuck off. Out of 59.6 million usual residents in England and Wales in 2021, 49.6 million, 83.2%, were born in the UK, and 10 million, 16.8%, were born outside of the UK. Right? This means that about 1 in 6 people in England and Wales were born outside of the UK. The size of the now, I'm pretty sure that it has maybe I don't want to say rapidly, but I want to say around, I don't want to say anything actually. I don't know if this went up drastically since 2021, but it could have. This means that about 1 in 6 people, the size of the non-UK born population has risen since 2011, when it was 7.5 million, 13.4%. Now, wasn't 2011 is where Brexit happened? Those born in the European Union, EU, made up 3. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying, okay, well, this is the reason this is happening. But, I mean, I'm just drawing conclusions to where, like, okay, well, this happened and this happened. I'm just saying that. I am drawing conclusions. Those born in the European Union, EU, made up 3.6 million. 36.4% of all non-UK born usual residents. I don't know what I just said. Of the population. An increase from 2.5 million, 32%. In 2011, including Croatia, who joined the EU in 2013. Now, no. The UK and Wales, right? England and Wales. Why are we talking about the EU? Top 10 non-UK countries of birth in 2021 with 2011 figures. You could stop and pause it if you want.
Channel 5 Live Worldwide 55? Fuck the authority. Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
Next question.
Well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed our.
Yeah, I did like that. That was cool. I'm glad they covered it. I'm glad I got to see it too.